Hi everyone, good evening, welcome back to Learn Turkish the Easy Way channel. This is our next live lesson on random topics, and we are continuing with our adverbial structures, adverbial suffixes that we were adding to the verbs to make adverbs. And today's topic will be adding pair suffixes a or ee, depending on the vowel harmony, to the verbs to make those verbs act as an adverb. Okay, so let's go to our workpad and continue with where we stopped. And just before we start, this is our Telegram channel for those who want to get the notifications in advance, and if you want to discuss something, it's also open for discussion. And don't forget to like the video if you really enjoy these videos. Thank you very much in advance for that. So what is the structure, this structure all about? As mentioned with the other classes, right, we have rules and notes. So this is an adverbial structure that usually describes when we add this this pair, okay, which may be a or ee if the vowel is soft vowel, right, I, ö, ü and e, then you add ee, of course. And if the vowel in the last syllable of the root is hard vowel, which is a, ö, o, u, right, then you will add, of course, a by default. So this, when we add this pair, okay, a pair or a pair, it usually means we describe a specific format of the action, okay, well, how something is happening. Merhaba Kamelia, hoş geldin. So basically we describe the format of an action, okay, of the verb. So it is also some kind of a description of the repetitive or continuous action, okay. When we say something, let's say right, gide gide, gele gele, göre göre, this means that that action has probably or continuously happens, repetitively happens. That is why we also repeat it twice, okay. And that's actually why we repeat it twice. Okay, it repeated twice to mean that something is repetitive, something is continuous in terms of its format. That's how we add it. Okay, the meaning of the structure overall will be what? If you, for example, think about the verbs in English, knowingly, right? Knowingly, unknowingly, I don't know, seemingly, and so on, right? That's exactly what it would mean. Okay, ing, ly, this suffix, English suffix, is probably the closest meaning of this pair, okay. Or you can say also by doing something, right, by looking, by showing, or in the format of showing, in the format of looking, or repetitively doing something, okay. Repetitively, of course, repetitively word here, this one is just in parentheses, okay. You can put it in parentheses, we just feel that meaning. You don't necessarily have to pronounce it repetitively word. But overall, it's all about the repetitive or continuous kind of action, okay. And it's also participle. Don't forget, participle is what? Participle is different than the gerund, okay. It's not gerund, it's participle. Participles in English can be adjectives or meaning adjective or adverb. So this is adverbial participle, okay. We will see the three examples. Now the next item is the suffix is added to the root, to the verb root, which is valid for the majority of the adverbial suffixes, right? We throw away mak, part of the verb, and then we add it to the root. For verbs ending in a vowel, add the fusion letter or buffer letter yeah, okay. So basically we have this as the last structure, okay. So all possible alternatives are here. You may have the a or ya, e or ye, okay. These are the four possible cases, alternatives that you may have. And it can also be negative. Let me just go up again. It can be negative. You can also make the verbs negative, okay. So bile bile or bilmeye bilmeye, göre göre or görmeye görmeye, okay. Seve seve, sevmeye sevmeye. So it's possible to make that negative too. So this is the root, okay. This is the rule. So the rule is that you have to add one of these pairs, a, e, ya or ye pairs, okay, one of these four pairs to the verb root. That's how you make this. So you of course you repeat the verb twice, right? You get the root first, So bilmek, for example, here bilmek, the root is bil. You add bil a, right? A to the bil and make it twice. Bile bile. Bile bile means knowingly or by knowing, right? Or continuous kind of knowing about something. But we already have this kind of this English very good translation, right? Knowingly. Bile bile. You did something knowingly. That is exactly the probably the best translation of this bile bile into the English language. What about vermek? Vermek is to give. Ver is the root. It will be vere vere, right? Vere vere. You see, we pronounce them together very quickly. Vere vere. By giving or repetitively giving, right? Or if it's possible in English to say givingly, right? It's meaningless, of course. I haven't heard something like that, the word givingly. But if it was possible, okay, it will be really givingly. If it was possible to make it in English that way, that will be givingly, okay? But we already have this giving kind of as a participle in English, okay? I was, so for example, or giving some money to the children, right? I was walking the park. So you see, giving some money to the children is already participle, which already means this vere vere, right? Look at the bulmak now. Bulmak, the root is bul. You will add aa, which makes it bula bula, right? By finding, or repetitively finding. Then you have söylemek. Söylemek ends as a root in a vowel, in a soft vowel, right? Therefore you add this fusion letter ye in between for both cases. So you would say söyleye söyleye. Okay? Söyleye söyleye gittim. I went saying something. Okay? By saying or repetitively saying something. Bakmak becomes, bak is the root, baka baka. Okay, baka baka, by looking, repetitive looking, or lookingly, if it's possible to say, okay. And ağlamak, ağla is right, to cry. Ağla is the root, ends in a vowel. It's a hard vowel a. Therefore you add ya. You have fusion letter ye in between again. It becomes ağlaya ağlaya. Okay. Merhaba Susan, welcome, hoş geldin. So ağla becomes ağlaya ağlaya. And by the way, there are many songs in Turkish language where you can hear this phrase, ağlaya ağlaya, okay? So that's basically crying. I have seen this crying in English language, so that's why kind of the best translation probably would be cryingly, okay? I went cryingly, I don't know, something like that. Or I left the room crying, okay? That's what basically it means. Odayı ağlaya ağlaya odadan çıktım, okay? I left the room crying. Ağlaya ağlaya odadan çıktım. Odadan is the ablative case, right? It gets done then ending. So ağlaya ağlaya odadan çıktım. I left the room crying. That's basically how you can translate it. Now, yes, I was going to say, Susan asks whether it's same with Arak. It is very, very similar, okay? But it still has its own function, okay? So for example, in certain cases, let me show you. For example, let's think about the example koşmak, right? Koşmak. Koşmak, for example, koşmak. Let me just... okay, just a second. So, koşmak, right? Koşmak becomes, the root is koş, right? The root is koş here. Oh, my keyboard is problematic. Koş. So how will you translate it? Koşa koşa, right? It becomes koşa koşa. Now, koşa koşa means it is the same with koşarak. There is no difference between koşa koşa and koşarak, okay? So I went running. I went home running. Koşa koşa gittim or koşarak gittim. There is no difference. But in other contexts, it doesn't mean the same thing. For example, bile bile. Okay, bile bile is still same. It's okay. Bile bile can mean bilerek. It's okay. Bile bile is equal to bilerek too. Okay, so let's get this one too. Okay, this one also is similar. You can use that one too. So bile bile, bilmek, right, will be in this case bil. It will be bile bile. Okay, so here you have it is the same. It meaning in terms of meaning, it will be really meaning bilerek. Okay. In that sense, yes, this arak and this erek are same with this koşa koşa. But in other contexts, it may not be, okay? For example, let me just give you. An example. For example, when you say seve, right? Let me go through the example first, okay? If I find the examples among my examples, I will note it there. But it's not necessarily 100%, okay? It's not 100% same. For the 60%, 70% of the verbs, they will mean the same thing, okay? But there are some 30% or 40% the cases where they will mean different things, okay? So it's not necessarily the format, but continuity, for example. So you want to stress not the format that it was, for example, by doing this, but you mentioned the continuity here rather than the format here, okay? Hello, Jin, good evening. So let me go first through the examples. Okay, I'll tell you where they are different. They have different meanings rather than the arak, for example, where they are not necessarily same with arak. Okay, so let's go examples. The first example I have is tehlikeyi göre göre yine de gittik. Okay. Now here you see tehlike is danger. Tehlikeyi, this e is accusative case, and you add also the fusion letter y in between, right? Tehlikeyi göre göre yine de gittik. Seeing the danger, we still went. Okay. Or it also means what? It also means despite seeing the danger. Okay. Despite seeing the danger, we still went. So here you see, it doesn't necessarily mean görerek, okay? Because tehlikeyi görerek gitmek is different than tehlikeyi göre göre gitmek. Okay? It will not be same here with görerek. Tehlikeyi görerek gittik, it means the format of that will be that we were seeing it, okay? It's not about the format here, it's about something else. It's about here, you see, despiteness here. Despite the fact that we saw, okay, we saw it, the danger, we still went. So here it's not necessarily equal with the görerek. Okay? Göre göre is not necessarily equal with görerek. So despite seeing the danger, we still went, or seeing the danger, we still went. That's an example where it will a bit different meaning, okay? Let's look at the second example. Let me bring it here. Okay, let me bring it up. Okay. Senle seve giderim. Okay. Now here again, seve is not equal to severek. Okay. So let me first analyze the sentence. So sen is you, senle, la is with, right? Seve means lovingly. Okay. Giderim, I would go. Now you see seve here is not necessarily an equivalent of severek. Okay, severek means loving. Severek is the format here. Okay, severek is the format, about the format. Seve is about the. I mean, here seve will be about the nature, okay, not the format, but the nature of the action. How would you go? By nature, it will with pleasure, okay. Lovingly here means with pleasure. I will go with pleasure. I would lovingly go with you. I will go with you with pleasure. Okay, so severek is not necessarily 100% here same with seve. Okay, let me erase it. Let's look at the third example. The third example is devamlı dinleye dinleye şarkıdan bıktım. Okay, so bıkmak is used with the done then endings, right? Ablative case endings. So you bık from something. Okay, you bıkmak from something. So you done then, you use it with the done then endings. So for example, senden bıktım. I got bored with you. Okay, I'm fed up with you. Senden bıktım. Şarkıdan bıktım. Hayattan bıktım. I got bored with the life. Okay, hayattan. So you will do done then, tan ten. That's how you use the bıkmak, the verb bıkmak. Same as many other verbs where you have done then endings, okay, together. So dinlemek is to listen, right? So it ends in a vowel, and therefore you add this ye, right, rather than e, together with the fusion letter, right? Dinleye dinleye şarkıdan bıktım. How did you get bored? By continuously listening. Devamlı means continuously, right? By continuously listening the song, listening the song repetitively. Okay, so devamlı dinleye dinleye şarkıdan bıktım. I got bored with the song continuously listening it. Okay. Now, just a note to Susan's kind of a question. Would you be very much mistaken if you use arak in terms of aa? Not necessarily, okay? People will still understand you. So don't feel kind of a huge pressure here if you, for example, use arak erek instead of aa in the cases where you don't know the difference, okay? So seve or severek, people will never kind of tell you this is a bit different use, okay? They will still understand what you mean. So arak erek or they have very much similarity, but again, don't feel this pressure that you are doing a big mistake, okay? There is no huge big mistake here, so be kind of be relaxed about that. Now this is negative. Now the fourth example here is a negative one, okay? I already told above, right? We had said what? You can add this negative, right? This mame, you can make also this verb negative. There is no problem with that. So it will be just a repetition of the negative verb. So here, let me make it capital here. Çalışmaya, çalışmaya, okay? Çalışmaya, çalışmaya, tembelleştim. Tembelleşmek is to become lazy, to get lazy. Okay, you become a lazy person. Tembelleşmek is that you become over time lazy person. So how did you get lazy, become lazy? By not working continuously, okay? Çalışmaya, çalışmaya, over time. I didn't work, so then I became lazy, okay? That's basically how you use a negative one, you see? But you can also say çalışa çalışa zenginleştim, okay? Çalışa çalışa zenginleştim. Çalışmak also is a kind of a means study or work, right? So you can say I got rich by working, continuously working, okay? By working very much. Çalışa çalışa zengin oldum. I became rich. Çalışa çalışa zenginleştim. So you can say I became rich. That's a affirmative, okay? Çalışa çalışa. But because you make it negative, now you have vowel right here ending in a vowel. Therefore you add this ya, the fusion letter buffer letter ya. Çalışmaya çalışmaya tembelleştim. Okay. What about the for example görmek? Göre göre becomes görmeye görmeye. Okay. Göre göre görmeye görmeye. Seve seve sevmeye sevmeye. Bile bile bilmeye bilmeye. Okay. That's how you make them negative. The fifth example, herkese nefret ede ede yaşayamazsın. Okay. Nefret etmek, you see, nefret etmek is to hate. It's a compound verb composed of two. Nefret means hatred, okay, hatred, and etmek means do hatred. So you basically do hatred, okay? You make hatred. That's how the literal translation is. But the verb itself means to hate, okay? So herkese, it's the dative case here, right? It means you hate to everyone, right? That's basically how we say in Turkish. Herkese, ona nefret ediyorum, right? Sorry, ondan nefret ediyorum. Herkesten. Sorry, let me just, it is, sometimes you can say ona olan nefretim, right? The hatred that I have towards him, or herkesten nefret ede ede, okay? It's same as here, okay? Bıkmak. Bıkmak is same as nefret etmek, okay? You use it in the ablative case. Herkesten nefret ede ede yaşayamazsın. You cannot live hating everyone, okay? Or by hating everyone, continuously hating everyone. So this tan ten, okay? Dan den tan ten, ablative case ending is used with the nefret etmek. I already have a video on separately on this, right? On the how we say to hate in Turkish language. There again we describe this tan ten ending. So nefret ede ede. You see we use only the second part because the verb here is the etmek. Okay, this one here. This is the verb etmek. Nefret etmek. So we have the first part which is nefret. That's a hatred, but we don't deal with that. We have to change only the etmek part, which is the verb part, right? So nefret ede ede yaşayamazsın. Okay? So that's a kind of a repetition of the verb nefret etmek. You don't say nefret ede, nefret ede, nefret ede, right? Nefret ede, nefret ede. That you don't make the double. You make just the double of the second part, where if you have a compound verb, you only deal with the verb's part, okay? The second part of that compound verb. So herkese nefret ede ede yaşayamazsın. You can't leave, you cannot leave. Okay? hating everyone. So you see, this is also participle again, hating everyone. You cannot live hating everyone or continuously hating everyone. What about güle güle? Güle güle, Ujin is same structure, okay? It's same structure, no difference. And by the way, thank you for noting that because it's one of the very frequently used structures. It is more rhetoric rather than this one. So when you say somebody, for example, bye bye, and they tell you güle güle, right? It means go smilingly, okay? It means basically, I wish you that you go smilingly, with laugh, with smile, okay? That you go with a nice, you leave with the nice feelings. That's basically what it means. Güle güle, if a person is smiling, right? Gülmek is to smile or laugh. So if the person goes with a smile, it means he probably leaves you with a nice feeling, right? So güle güle means go with smile, okay? Smilingly. That's basically what it means. But it's the same structure, yes. Yes, it's the same structure. Go by smiling, go smiling, right? Go smiling, or go having a smile on your face. That's basically what it means. Güle güle, right? When you say, for example, sağ olun ben gidiyorum, or bye bye ben gidiyorum, güle güle means okay, good. Have a nice and kind of a nice one, right? Have a good day where you have, which is full of smile. That's basically what, if you want to expand the meaning, that basically is the meaning of güle güle. But yes, the structure is same. This is the same suffix, okay? Gülmek, you add e here, which makes it güle güle, okay? Gülmek, it will be gül, right? Gül becomes güle güle. Okay, gülmek, gül, güle güle. Gül is the root, you make it güle güle. Okay, so I'm done with this basic examples. With colored examples, I have a couple of verbs here. Koklamak, for example, koklamak, you see, koklamak, kokla is the root here. It ends in a, right? Kokla, it ends in a. Koklamak, therefore you would say what? Koklaya, koklaya. Koklaya, koklaya, and whatever, you can complete the sentence, okay? Tekrarlamak, tekrarla, you see, tekrarla is the root, ending in a. Tekrarla means to repeat. Tekrarlaya, tekrarlaya, okay? Ezberledim, for example, you can say I memorized by repeating, continuously repeating, okay? Tekrarlaya, tekrarlaya, ezberledim. For example, you can say I memorized the poem, okay? I memorized the text. How did you memorize the text? Repeating, okay? Tekrarlaya, tekrarlaya. You see, we have this what? Again, same as here, it's fusion letter ya, right? In all of these four cases, you have ya, which is the fusion letter. Okumak means to read or to study, okay? Okuya, it's again ending, you see, oku is the root here, and it ends in a vowel. Therefore, you will say okuya, okuya. Okay, for example, you can say okuya, okuya, nereye kadar, okay? Nereye kadar? Nereye kadar? It's a rhetoric question. How far you want to go, right, by studying? I mean, how much you really want to study? Come on, right? Okuya, okuya, nereye kadar? Okay, until what? Until where? That is sometimes people ask other people, right? Okay, you are studying. Okay, you finish your bachelor, you finish your master, you want to study PhD. So okuya nereye kadar? Okay, so how much you want to go? That's a rhetoric question, of course. And again, we have here the ya. Okay, ya, not but ya because of the vowel, two vowels. Sigara içmek is to smoke. A cigarette, okay. Now it's very funny in Turkish. İçmek basically is the, if you look at only içmek verb, it's a to drink, right? And basically when you talk about the smoking, it's sigara içmek. It doesn't mean you drink the cigarette, but that's basically how we use. Okay, we use the verb içmek together with sigara to mean to smoke. Okay. There is some spamming here, I think, in the chat. All right. I sometimes. All right. So sigara içmek, right? Sigara içmek is it's a compound verb. You see, the verb here, the main verb is here içmek, and the root is iç, right? Therefore, you will say what? How will you say the repetitive form of this? Anybody? Anyone? How will you say this one? How will you repeat this twice? How do you make the structure with sigara içmek? Any suggestions? Any guesses? No? Okay, let me check. İçe, okay, but what will be the full? Okay, how will you make it full? So if you want to say two verbs at the same time, and because we use it twice, right? There's a pair. We always have to make this a pair. So içmeye means the negative. It will be negative. Susan. Sigara içmeye, it will be not smoking, okay? So Ingrid's case is good, but you have to add it to the sigara, right, part. So it will be basically sigara içe. Sigara içe, okay? For example, you can say öldü, okay? She died smoking, okay? Sigara içe öldü. So, or kind of he died by smoking, okay? By continuously, by repetitively smoking, okay? Sigara içe öldü. Yes, Ingrid. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. How you have to, because it's a compound verb, right? You have to deal only with the verb part, içmek part, and that therefore the sigara becomes alone. You leave it alone as one only, and you double içe, okay? İçmek. So sigara içe öldü. Biriktirmek is to save, okay? Biriktirmek, and the root is biriktir here. Biriktire, right? Biriktire. Zengin oldu. Okay, let's make it rich. Okay, she became rich by saving. Okay, biriktire zengin oldu. Or you can say para biriktire, right? By saving money. Para biriktire zengin oldu. Okay. Now you see, when you, for example, can you, for example, let me just copy the sentence. Okay, here down. And make it a bit different. Now, biriktirerek, okay? Let's make it biriktirerek. Back to Susan's question. Para biriktire means the same thing by with what? With para biriktirerek zengin oldu. Okay? So how did you become rich? By saving money. Para biriktirerek zengin oldu. Or para biriktire zengin oldu. But here in the first sentence, in this one, okay, biriktire, you usually focus on what? You focus on the repetition here, that this person, okay, became rich by focusing on saving continuously, okay? There is a very kind of there is an emphasis here on his ability to continuously save, okay? There is an emphasis and focus here on that person's doing it repetitively. That is why he became rich, okay? Para biriktire zengin oldu. Okay. When you say para biriktirerek zengin oldu, you don't have that emphasis here on this word biriktirerek, okay? Biriktirerek, okay? Biriktirerek. That is the full. So you don't have this kind of emphasis here, only biriktirerek. But here when you say biriktire, now you kind of open up. You expand the word, okay? You expand the word and emphasize that it was possible by his saving, okay? Continuously saving. He became rich, yes, but it was possible because he continuously saved money. Ingrid had a question, why öldü? Sigara içe öldü. In the cigarette, it was just a sample example, okay? Sigara içe öldü. It means basically he died because of smoking too much, okay? That's basically what the person wants to say here. So he died because of the repetitively or continuously smoking. Of course, here it means probably too much smoking, right? Rather than just normal smoking. Sigara içe öldü. That's basically what it means. I just chose a random verb here. Ujin asks because the one staying behind says that. Yeah, yeah. That's the one usually saying somebody that says about right other person that sigara içe öldü. So he died drinking, sorry, smoking. Okay. So that's basically what I had for this lesson with the examples. Okay. These are our examples. Any questions? Anything unclear? Öldü. Did you ask anything about the structure of that letters? What was your question about öldü then? Because I'm trying to understand what was the issue with the ö and ü. Öldü. It's a past tense of ölmek. Okay, so ölmek. Öldü is the past tense of ölmek. So what was your expectation? What instead of öldü? Did you expect something else? Any other questions in the meanwhile? So we are done with one more suffix, adverbial suffix. We have one more, okay. If I'm not mistaken, yes, we have one more left. And when we finish that one, we will be done with the adverbial suffixes that make adverbs out of verbs. Okay, and then we will go to the videos on adjectives, the suffixes that make adjectives out of verbs. Gelen, right? Gelecek, gelmiş, and so on. Those kind of suffixes that. Okay, if it's clear, then good. Para biriktire ve biriktirerek fark şimdi anlıyorum. Okay, not biriktirerek. Okay, Susan. You see, it's a soft vowel, so we make it biriktirerek, not rarak. Okay. This one, let me just go down here. Okay, here, okay. Biriktirerek. Biriktir erek. This is erek, remember? Arak erek also had this vowel harmony issue. So biriktirerek, not arak. Okay, Kamele has a question regarding jasna, jesine, suffixes to verbs. Okay, as if the previous lessons there is a possibility to change the structure to sanki, also an adverb. Yes, of course. You may do it that way. There are other, for example, changes. For example, think about I didn't want to cover and confuse you with the other structures because, for example, think about the suffix ince. Okay, ince, unce. Okay. Okay, so ince, right? Unce and unce. This all mean what? They mean when. Okay, sorry, I changed the keyboard settings. So when, it means when, right? When something happens. So görünce means when so, okay, or when see, and so on. But you can also make the structure gördüğün zaman, right? For example, onu, let's make it first example. Onu görünce beni ara. Okay, beni ara. It means what? Call me when you see him. Okay, or her. Call me when you see him, her. Okay, this means that. Okay, now the same sentence can be paraphrased and made what? Onu gördüğün zaman beni ara. Okay, it will be the same thing. Onu gördüğün zaman, gördüğün zaman beni ara. Now you see görünce became gördüğün zaman when you see him, her. Therefore, it is possible to transform the suffixes to different kind of formats. Okay. So if you talk about the jasna, jesine, okay, jasna and jesine, in this examples where you talk about as if, right, as if, then something, you can also transform this into something else. For example, What was our example, for example? Okay, so sometimes you can't think of a single example. Okay. Vampir görürcesine, okay. Vampir görürcesine, as if you saw a vampire, okay. Görürcesine korktum, okay. I got scared as if I saw a vampire, okay. I got scared as if I saw a vampire, okay. So vampir görürcesine korktum. Okay. Merhaba Lina. So what would you say about how we can transfer this into sanki? Okay, how would you, for example, make this one? So with sanki, sanki vampir gördüm, korktum, okay? Sanki vampir gördüm. Gördüm ve korktum, okay? You can also say gördüm ve korktum, or korktum, just korktum, okay? How did you get scared? Sanki vampir gördüm, okay? Sanki vampir görmüş gibi oldum. I mean, there are so many kind of variations you can expand, okay? The only reason I didn't show you those because it will be confusing you, okay? The only reason I did not go into those kind of details because if I open up those kind of variations of different kind of ways to say this the same thing, then you will be confused. So I left it at the suffix levels, okay? At the suffix levels, vampir görmüş gibi korktum. You can also say vampir görmüş gibi korktum, okay? Gibi, you see now not sanki but also gibi, okay? I got scared as if I saw or vampir görmüş kadar korktum, right? I got scared as much as if I kind of saw a vampire. So the only reason I didn't go to expand this is I didn't want to confuse it, but there are multiple ways, okay, to paraphrase every single suffix. Not every single suffix, but many of the suffixes, okay, they can be mentioned in other formats. I don't know whether it's clear or not, but yeah, that's kind of it is possible to use sanki, okay, in other contexts. Evet, erekmiş gibi. Yes, içmeye. İçmeye, ujin is içe, içmeye. Not ice, yes, you probably use. You're welcome. Any other questions? Anything? No? Alright, then I don't want to keep you more than this to prolong the lesson. If no other questions, I'll then see you in the next class. I don't know whether I will be able to have a class tomorrow. This weekend I may be a bit busy, but if anything I will let you know, of course, through the Telegram channel. Again, if you like the videos, put that like button. I really appreciate it. So have a nice weekend. Herkese iyi hafta sonu diliyorum. Okay. How do we use olan? We will come to that. Okay. Lino, that is the suffixes making adjectives out of adverbs. Okay. That is in the further lesson. So I already talked about that. It will be in the upcoming weeks. Okay. Olan, giden, yapan, kalan, and so on. That is the suffix that makes adjective out of verbs, and we will cover them in a separate series, okay, series of lessons. I don't want to spend that in this video because that's a different topic, but I will explain it, okay, I will explain it. So let's be a bit patient. We will have those in the upcoming weeks. All right, enjoy the weekend. Have a nice day. Have a nice Friday. Thanks God it's Friday, right? TGIF. So I'll see you in the next lessons. Bye bye.